Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Nieman and Judy Richey.
Hello and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you and the community know how you can lend a helping hand to a program, agency, or somewhere in need. I'm Judy Richey, Community Advocate.
And I'm John Nieman with Aurora Medical Center. And welcome to our March edition. Yes, I said March edition of Helping Hands, where everything's starting to come alive outside. So we're very grateful for Harnick's on 9th Street for our wonderful decor. We also want to thank Aurora Medical Center and Aurora Healthcare for being our sponsor for this show. Where can you see us? Where can you listen to us? We're on Life TV too. We're also on 101.9 FM WOCT radio. And if you want to learn more about all the wonderful programs on Life TV, just go to oshkoshmedia.org and you can find the schedule there. This is our 15th year of being on the air on Oshkosh Media, and we just decided to shake things up a little and do something different for our 15th anniversary.
We did. We've been working with the Oshkosh Media, the Friends of OCM, the people that we know in the community, and we have a whole new segment that we're adding probably every other month.
Yes.
And it's called Unsung Heroes.
Right, and it's a great collaboration with Oshkosh Media. It's a chance for us to recognize those people, those behind the scene volunteers who are always behind the scenes and they don't get the recognition that they deserve for all that they do behind the scenes, some for many, many years. So we have an award called Oshkosh Community Unsung Hero Award, and we actually put it into action already, and we're introducing it on this show.
Right. And when we talk about the unsung heroes and not getting the recognition, they're doing the job that they want to do. It's their passion, and they're not asking for recognition. They're embarrassed by getting the recognition. And so when we put this in action, we really surprise someone. And the first one is a person that we do, those of us that have been around a while, do recognize, who's been very involved with the military organizations, who is the parade coordinator for the 4th of July parade.
Now those are good clues, Judy.
They are.
We're not going to give her name yet because we're just we did a field trip. We went over to where she is and we did a little outing, and so we're going to roll the tape now so everyone can see who our first unsung hero is for the month of March. We're at the Oshkosh Area United Way and we're ready to surprise someone with something new.
We have, in working with Oshkosh Media and Friends of OCM, have come up with honoring unsung heroes, the volunteers that work in the background and don't want any recognition. Hi, Ann.
Hi.
We're here as part of OCM and Helping Hands to name you our very first unsung hero for all the work that you do with all the patriotic groups in the city.
Well, thank you so much. I'm shocked because I don't do very much.
That's what all volunteers say.
As far as we know, you're the glue that kind of holds everything together with the parades, the processions, and a lot of other activities.
That's not right, though. I help with them, along with all of the other volunteers. Well, that is really nice. Well, thank you so much.
So this is something new that we're doing in coordination with Oshkosh Media. So we're presenting this certificate to you. Certificate of appreciation that acknowledges that you have been recognized as our Oshkosh Community Unsung Hero for your unwavering support of programs that benefit our community.
Well, thank you so much. I'm shocked.
And you are our very first recipient.
Wow.
So this is for you.
Well, thank you.
course, you get an OCM card.
Okay, I have one. I'll have to
Well, but you
re-gift.
get to share.
Yeah.
Spread the news. And also some nice chocolates, patriotic chocolates.
Well, that's great. Oh, Russell Stover. Thank you so much.
So we really wanted you to know that we truly appreciate, because it's a lot of people are always behind the scenes
Yes.
doing things, and that's how they want it. But we wanted to recognize people who are behind the scenes and doing the work that really benefits our community. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I really
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you so much, Judy. That was guys.
And as you see from that video, she is a true volunteer at heart, because the first thing she said is she doesn't deserve it.
And then she's just one of many volunteers.
Yes, and that's how volunteers are by nature. A lot of volunteers don't want the recognition. They want to do it because they love it. So as you see on our screen right now, for our TV audience and also for our radio audience, it says, do you know an unsung hero who deserves recognition? So contact either myself or Judy, and our information's on the screen. It is also at the end of the screen, because we are looking for nominees. So please call us or email us with someone you think, and we're going to be doing this every other month, starting in March. So the next one will be May. And so please let us know if you know of someone who's been doing something, and it can be at a church, at a school, at a food pantry, doing something behind the scenes for quite a while and never getting the recognition. As you saw with Anne, she was just so, I loved it because she was so surprised about it, but you could tell she felt very honored.
She
to get
did. She did. And I stuck around afterwards, and the teddy bear that was on the table, and she was hugging it. It was so, and just beaming and shaking. She was just so honored by what we had done. And we turn around and we say, we really didn't do anything other than say thank you. We tend to minimize, all of us, minimize the impact that we make with this. And, with Anne being involved with the various patriotic groups in the city, but she's the one, when we talk parade coordinator, she's got all the letters that go out. She's the one that is responsible for more or less determining the lineup and everything. She's got a wonderful group that works with her, but she is the name that the folks that are involved there know.
Right, and she did acknowledge that. We always acknowledge the parade committee, but without her, when we're sitting there doing the 4th of July parade, if something is not in the right order or someone drops out, we would be lost without Anne, because she gives us updates.
She does.
Always about it.
She does.
So that's what we were talking about. We call her a patriotic volunteer because she's very involved with the Memorial Day and also the 4th of July, which is a huge
And the veterans.
parade.
With the Patriotic Council, those processions, they do them, each of the 5 groups in the city that she's involved with, they are responsible for 2 years. So she says, well, we only do it every 10 years. No, they do it more frequently, a little bit. But it's all of the groups together making a huge impact on the city. Those processions for Memorial Day, for Veterans Day, really honor the present and the past veterans. And we go back to Doc Suttonleitner. He was always the one that we thought of with those
When the
events.
parades came up, it was Doc Suttonleitner. And
The
that's-
processions.
Yeah, and that's
that
how it
parades,
was.
yeah.
Well, I still call
We're-
it the 4th of July parade.
Well, the
so,
4th of
yeah.
July parade is a parade,
So-
but the others are processions.
But no matter what, Anne is responsible for that, and that's what we're looking for here with our Unsung Heroes. I have to say, a lot of times too, someone will say, I don't do much, I'm on a board. Board members are volunteers. I don't do much, I take minutes for the board. That is an important job to do. So that's what we're looking for. So we're asking our audience out there to help us find those unsung heroes, whether they're at a church, a school, a pantry, anyone who you think deserves recognition to be called an unsung hero. We'll be glad. We'll have our committee scope it out, And don't be surprised then when we come to somebody's place of business and surprise a volunteer with the Unsung Hero Award. I also want, if we can have a screenshot, we're just updating. This is the 15th year. We have a brand new sign also behind us, our Helping Hand sign. We went from that piece of cardboard that someone painted on for us to we are high tech now.
With our original logo.
Yes, with our original logo. So here behind us is a wonderful, colorful sign. We do, and speaking of that, we have to talk about the Unsung Heroes at Oshkosh Media, because those are the volunteers that help get this program on the air for us.
Daryl and Ian have been around for a very long time, and we can go back with a number of them over the years. And they're always behind the camera. Mm-hmm. They're not the ones in front of the camera, but they make us work.
And for us too, it helps with our show. After 15 years, we like to change things up a bit, and it's nice to have them, or the staff, because we have to say the staff too. Emily, Jake, Scott, they're always supportive of the ideas of taking our show on the road, like as we've done for the last 2 holidays, and then also the collaboration with the Unsung Hero is a great thing. It was done in our community a while ago with the chamber and with the newspaper, and it kind of went by the wayside, and this is a chance for us to actually bring it back, and I'm really excited about that. I'm still excited about Anne's face and what she said, because it really showed that she was deeply shocked and that she does deeply deserve the award.
Right, and the fact that with Sue Ponick with United Way, how supportive that they are. I mean, Sue was privy to all of this and really helped to make it happen, that we could get in there, surprise her at work, because trying to track Anne down and what meeting she is at is without losing the secrecy of it.
Right, and the reason that it was supposed to be a
element.
surprise is because Anne is the keeper of the room schedule. So she would know everything that is going on, because she has her hands in everything there. She has a lot of information that she gives out and that she knows. So that was really hard to try to keep her out of that room or knowing what was going on.
Well, and she wanted to know why I was there. So no, I just told her I was in trouble. I didn't tell her that I was in trouble with her. And so it was just, I did end up saying, well, the cameras are going to be here for, something, but I'm not really sure what else is going on, which when you're working on the fly, you don't.
Yeah, so that was just great. So once again, Anne is our Oshkosh Community Unsung Hero. We're so excited about that. Again, call Judy or myself or email us if you know of someone behind the scenes who should be an unsung hero.
Or catch us in the store.
Yeah, yeah, like you guys do, which is wonderful to be recognized. So thank you for that. That's the end of our first segment. Stay tuned, and we'll be back for our second segment of our March edition of Helping Hands.
It's not a charity, it's more than a charity. It's about helping people we live with. It's about being the type of person that the 6-year-old version of ourselves wanted us to be. It's about community and looking out for one another. It's about money, yes, but it's so much more than money. It's about friendship and common values. It's about opening doors when others are slammed shut. It's about giving kids a place to be kids and growing up knowing they live in a community that cares about them. It's about making sure that everyone gets to see the dentist, because we want to make sure that they have every last tooth in those smiles. Ultimately, that's it. It's about the smiles, old smiles and new smiles. It's about us, all of us, our community living united, because great things happen when we live united. Will you join us?
Hi, we're back for our second segment of our March edition of Helping Hands. This is the time where we talk about what's going on in our community, events, things to look for. I'm really excited to open up with something new that we haven't done before, which I'm kind of surprised. I've been with Aurora now for 15 years, and this is the first time we're actually doing a special event. We're doing it with Aurora at Home Hospice, and we're calling it an open house. And actually, I have to give my wife credit for the title. We all were talking about what to call it, and she came up with GIVE. So it's called Great Individuals Volunteer Everywhere. And there it is on our screen. I have to thank our staff again. I just talk and it's there. It's a special open house, a no pressure open house. Thursday, March 15th from 11 to 1 at Aurora. And of course, there are going to be refreshments. The unique thing about this event, GIVE, is that we're just inviting the community to come in and to see what volunteer opportunities there are at Aurora Medical Center, Aurora Clinic, and then also Aurora at Home. No pressure. We're not going to take your name and say, yep, you're a volunteer now. It's a chance for you to meet other volunteers and see what they're doing.
Right. And what I really like about this is instead of having people being overwhelmed, like most of the volunteer fairs we've been involved with, and has been held at Aurora in the past, you've got umpteen organizations around the room. With this, it's focusing strictly on what Aurora has available. Mm-hmm. And when we've been out to for imprint, it was always a big group, but we also knew who we were getting for volunteers in that respect. This way, I can come, my neighbors can come, whoever, and go from one station to the other, all under the Aurora umbrella. And, well, I like doing clerical, okay? Each group has different clerical needs. I like to work from home. I'll do the teddy bears or the quilts or whatever, or the knitting. I like chatting with people, okay, front desk, those kinds of things. So people can come in with the idea that I'm going to be in a healthcare setting, but beyond that, this is really what I would like to do and find out what is available.
And that's the neat thing on the one-on-one that we're going to have is, so we're going to have the volunteer that does pet therapy. So the person actually can see what really is involved, because a lot of times I hear, oh, pet therapy, I have a cute dog. It's much more than having a cute dog, because you have to go through training and be licensed and all of that.
And they have to have all their shots?
Yeah, be up to date. And the person too, the two-legged person and the four-legged person on that.
Absolutely.
We started something new at Aurora, cookie baking on Fridays with a volunteer, and it's gone over really, really well. So we are actually going to have the volunteer there baking the cookies there, so people can see, well, that's not too hard, maybe I can do it, or maybe I don't like the smell, or whatever. They can learn more about that. We're going to have the hospice volunteers there talking about what really is involved, because sometimes people think that after a loved one dies and they've been the caregiver for them for so many years, that's what they want to do right away. But there's more to it than that. There's an emotional time that you need to take away just for yourself.
Absolutely.
And so, and you would know about that too with the
having
stuff
been
that you're
there
in.
with my dad and my husband within a year. And as a caregiver, personally as well as professionally, we tend to forget to take care of ourselves because we are so immersed in taking care of that loved one or the patient or the friend or the neighbor or whoever. And you need to have that time to just sit back, take a couple deep breaths, and find out who you are at this moment in time, because you're a changed person. You really are.
And maybe you want to do volunteering in some other field completely away from it until you feel ready to come back. And there are also people who don't know what a hospice volunteer does. This is a chance for you to come and to learn what hospice volunteers do, what's all involved, or find out what do the front desk people do at Aurora. You like clerical? I know when I was at the Pain Arts Center, we had one person, Clarisse, who loved mailings. That's all she wanted to do was mailings, and she did a great job at it. So we encourage people Thursday, March 15th, 11 to 1, to come to Aurora. It's the first floor conference rooms across from our wonderful gift shop. It's an open house. Come and see what it's about, and spread the word. Bring someone with you. It's just an informal chance to learn more about volunteering in our community.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to talk about blood drives. And I do have to say that we did have, Aurora had a blood drive, and we talked about it last time in January. Our goal was 20, and we were nervous because January is a bad weather month. We got 31 people to come in and donate blood, which was a great record, but now it sets the bar for us.
Well, but we have the dates, and we have the sort of, this is what our goal is. And this has been a horrible winter as far as the blood drives.
And planning on events for the weather.
Across the country, so many were canceled. And then with some of the tragedies, the need is even greater than ever. And it's always ongoing. We've got the blood drive coming up on March 20th at Aurora, but we also have the community blood bank that does a number of drives out in the community. So if you're at all interested, contact, come in, and donate blood.
Right, and appointments are, the reason that we like appointments is because then we can kind of plan on how many people and how many staff the blood drive people need to bring along and the supplies. But walk-ins are always welcome too. So make plans for Tuesday, March 20th, 8:30 to 12:30. The blood drive will be inside Conference Room A, again across from the gift shop. We did find out too that the smaller the blood drive, that's when they only bring the blood mobile, but ours have been big enough where we can have the room and have the personnel. So we encourage you, Tuesday, March 20th, 8:30 to 11:30 is the blood drive at Aurora, or check out the newspapers, go online, check out the Red Cross, the Community Blood Center, and see when blood drives are going on in our area. And there again on our screen for our audience is the Community Blood Center's number and also the Red Cross. We really do encourage you to check it out.
I want to comment. People think when they're coming to Aurora for the blood drives or some of the events that are in the conference room, they still come to the clinic entrance. No, you need to drive around the building to the west entrance, and you come in. The grand piano is right there on your left, and the conference room is just beyond that.
I don't know how we're ever going to get past that. I think it's because when people come in, they think the main entrance is the clinic. I still get that, even though when people are coming in for orientations, I specifically say it, and they still say to me sheepishly, well, I came in that entrance there.
Right.
But you're right, the main entrance to the hospital is in the back. You always know you got it right because it's revolving doors versus just the doors that slide open. But the conference rooms are very easy to find because you're going to see the blood mobile trucks parked outside anyway for any of our events that we have. So we really do want to encourage you for this. I also want to thank, because we mentioned things on this show and they magically appear. Yarn has been appearing on my office door lately, and that's because we put an appeal out saying if you have yarn, you want to donate it. Our knitters, Nook volunteers, make the baby hats, the baby booties, the baby blankets. They make prayer shawls. All of those are given free of charge to our patients and caregivers and even visitors. If I see a visitor who's in need, who maybe a family member got bad news, I will offer them a prayer shawl. They're just wonderful. It's just a wonderful comfort to know that people are thinking about you and praying for you. So thank you all, and keep the yarn coming because we really do put the yarn to good use.
And last month we also talked about the need for the costume jewelry for the name badges. And Stacy, our pharmacist, spoke about it the other night at a meeting that we were at together. And all of a sudden people are, well, gee, where can I get one of them? Where can I? And so she's out of jewelry. She needs to have more.
So there's a plea right there.
So
Stacy, if you didn't watch our show last month, shame on you because it was a good show. But we talked about Stacy, our pharmacist, who takes jewelry, breaks it down, gets creative, and makes jewelry pieces that will hold the name badges that we wear.
With the clip-on badges. And they're gorgeous. And she now has set a fee for them as opposed to, well, just whatever you think you want to pay. Because the money from that, the proceeds from that, do go back to purchase yarn for the Knitter's Nook. And I mean, instead of just the same old name badge, they're really beautiful.
They are, and I want to say that Stacy started out by giving them to the volunteers, but the paid caregivers saw them. And they said, "We
they
want
wanted
one.
in.
We want one too." And she's just, and that's how Stacy is, very giving. And like you said, she's the one who started it out with me in the gift shop by painting bottles and scenes on bottles, and she gave the proceeds to the Knitter's Nook, which helped us buy all the yarn, because yarn is expensive, and it takes like four, what is the word?
Skeins or balls,
Skeins. I didn't
depending
want to
on-
say that because I thought I'd mispronounce it. It takes like 4, like Renati says, to make a nice baby blanket. And so it really is expensive to do, and I don't want the knitters to have to buy their own yarn. We have the patterns. Just the talent of them knitting or crocheting, to me, is a blessing in itself.
And it's a great way to be a volunteer and stay at home and do it in front of the television or whatever you want to do.
Right.
Or even if you're visiting a family member who is sick or is waiting for doctor's appointments with my father.
Well, not too long.
I was able to do a lot of handwork by doing that.
And I want to say
Or-
Renati, who every one of us knows, Renati, she goes to Germany to visit her mother and her sister, and she feels guilty that she's taking a vacation from volunteering, so she comes back with baby hats and baby blankets that she did on the plane ride, or when she was visiting with her mother when her mother was alive, and her sister, and she comes back with those. And so you're right, it's a great tension reliever, a stress reliever, keeps you busy. So I really want to tell our audience that we do appreciate them too with the donations of yarn. That's truly, truly wonderful.
It is. And if you've got, I'll tell anybody, if you've got a talent, a skill, or an interest that you don't know where you can make use of it, getting hold of us and talking about it, we generally know someone or somewhere that we can direct you. And you don't begin to know how much impact that is going to have somewhere down the line.
You're right, and we're almost out of time, but I have to mention this because there was a young lady whose grandma was in the ICU, and she went to a store near us, and she saw their stuffed animals from Valentine's Day were marked down from $20 to $1, and she bought close to $50 worth and brought them back and donated it, not to the kids, but in honor of her grandma, to the elderly patients in the hospital. That's just a way you can give back also, that brought tears to my eyes. And the picture that she took with her grandma and the stuffed animal, it just, you can't beat that. So those are different ways that you can give back. We're so glad that you could be with us for our March edition of Helping Hands. I'm John Nieman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Richey as community advocate.